So, Samsung, let's talk about them and why I am not as impressed as I used to be. Now, to start off, this is my opinion. You can have your own, which is fine, but do keep it civil in the comment section below. So, I've been a Samsung user for a very long time, remembering using the Samsung Innovate, the Ultra Touch, the F700, the U600 and so on. I've been almost getting every single Samsung Galaxy since the Samsung Galaxy S2, apart from the first Note and then the Note 5 till the Note 8. Every other flagship in between I have used. That alone should tell you how I feel about Samsung. But lately I have more and more of an issue with really loving a new Samsung device, and part of that is because its design is very familiar. Now, while I think Samsung devices these days are good and their software has been improved a lot, apart from its updates, the problem that I have with Samsung is none of that. It is the lack of something Samsung used to be, and that is to innovate, to try something different. Yes, it didn't always stick, but they tried. For instance, the first Note is a great example. They said, let's give people a large screen for that time it is. And let's give people an S Pen as well. People are like, why? But at the end, people adopted it and loved it. Me included, with the Note 3 and the Note 4 really being one of my all-time favorites. And next to that, we had some odd devices in the mix as well, which again I loved. For instance, we had the Samsung Galaxy S for zoom, a phone with a freaking ring around it that allowed you to have an optical zoom of 10 times. I mean, Huawei P20 Pro, what? And later they improved on that with the Samsung Galaxy K zoom, having a much better design in general. And I respected that path that Samsung was making. It made them different and it showed in their software as well. We had cool camera tricks and simple ones that was helping us out in some situations. Yes, in turn we had some bloatware with it as well, but we got some cool innovations, new thinking, using phones to connect them together and then have it work as one in terms of speaker. It is something we see returning slowly as well. I'm not sure which device it was, but I remember there's a device that is implementing the same thing and acting like it's new, but Samsung already did it. The same with the Nokia 8 having this dual camera with the front and the back being used simultaneously. We had that with the Samsung Galaxy S4. And because of that, every year it felt like you had a new phone when you bought a Samsung. There was always something cool and new about it. But lately it feels like you need to at least wait 2 years to have somewhat of the same feeling. Now, as a normal user that would be fine because most people wait 2 years to buy a new phone. But as someone who used to get the latest Samsung, it just got boring. If I look at the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S9, we have a pretty similar experience, with it being more of an update than anything else. And yes, I'm aware that a lot of companies do this today, including Apple. Like I stated, it gets boring and it makes Samsung not the company that it used to be. The one that pushed technology, the one that innovated. Yes, Samsung is still very clever in what they adopt. For instance, the 960 frames per second we saw in the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, for instance. They know that it was a very short time, so they added this box that helps you to capture those moments better. But like stated, it is pretty much done and there are more companies adopting the same thing as well. Samsung right now feels like a company that is not stepping out of its comfort zone and trying new things. Trying to see what they can truly do if they step outside of that box. This is why, as a long-time Samsung user, I somewhat feel bored what they are producing these days. What they create is well made, but it isn't thrilling or really new anymore. I really hope someday we get that again, because right now, if I had to choose a Samsung phone that I love most, I have to go back several years. But with that being said, I also have to give credit to Samsung what they do correct. For instance, they are not following the hype that much, like the notch and removing the headphone jack. They do seem to truly listen to the consumer for that, and you have to respect that point of view as well. Hopefully, like Google, they are not making fun of something and then later doing the same. Just saying, Google. Either way, let me know what you think, and of course don't forget to subscribe and like if you like my content. And of course follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff that is linked below. Have a good one and talk to you guys in the next